Hey guys, I'm Ray, and we are, oh, this is really on top of me. We are streaming blacksmithing. Give me just a sec to move my fan a little bit so it's not directly blowing on me. So that I can, like, have a little bit better sound. It's probably because I have my beverage. All right, I am going to stick this, I guess, over here. There's water in here. I keep saying that I really want a place to, get or refill my cup. And so we got this like bin a water bin on Amazon. And so there we go. I've got a place to refill my water while we're streaming. So welcome in, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to move this so that it's out of my way. So today we are going to be continuing working on our this guy here. It is a hammer eye drift. It was a piece of, I think it's like 3/4 Flutagon stock. It's Atlantic 33. And this stuff is some pretty heavy, pretty hard steel. So it is designed, it was designed by the U.S. Navy to make tools on submarines. So they had to be able to touch it and know what it was, and that's why the shape is so unique. And they needed to be able to forge tools. So this is, the Atlantic 33 that they came up with. I bought some at the Indiana Blacksmith Association convention a couple of weeks ago, and we've been playing around with it. So I finally think I got it to a point where I can play with it effectively. So we're going to actually start making stuff with it. This is going to be, a hammer eye drift. So last Friday, we abruptly had to end the stream because my internet was in and out. My internet has already been in and out today, so I'm going to stream for as long as I possibly can, but there is going to be a chance that it will drop. I have been in contact with my ISP again. It looks like there's some interference, but it is so intermittent that they are not able to track what exactly is the interference. So I don't know. We're kind of borderline, and they've done all that they can do. So and it's a little bit on the intermittent side. So I will do my best to be here and stream for as long as possible. But there are going to be times where the internet is going to drop for no reason. So I really apologize for that. I really want to get the consistency up and the stability on this stream up. I think that's my major hurdle right now. For growth and community building. So if you don't find me here, I'm always on Discord. I'm always on YouTube. The links to those are on this channel page. Looks like we are about to start an ad. There are a few other new things that I'd like to address in the beginning of the stream before we start the forge. It's going to be a little bit on the hot side today. It's like in the 80s, unfortunately. So I will be all sweaty. We're going to stream for as long as the internet and the heat holds out, and I can still, continue to work out here. Let me open the garage door and grab my headphones so I can hear myself. Ugh. I keep saying I'm going to buy a second pair of headphones because my partner is constantly borrowing this set so that he can mow the lawn. And so they're never the right size after he's done with them, and they're in random places. I just need to, buy my own set. of streaming headphones so that I can, effectively stream. So it looks like we are currently in ad time. So I do have a couple, like I said, I do have a couple more things to talk about with you guys, a few new things in the shop. And once those ads are done, I will let you guys, or, I will tell you about them. So yeah, I am pretty excited today to be able to commune with you guys and stream, and we're going to have some fun today. Yes, the press is still plugged in. I think I need to move this a little bit. It's a little closer to the top. All right. There we go. Works pretty well. All right, we've lined up the jaws of the press. Welcome in, Ping. Greetings. So I have a couple new items in the shop today, and I'm really, really excited about them. So the first new item I have is my water, refill jug. So, I won't have to run back and forth or have multiple water bottles anymore. So we'll just be able to fill it up using the water the water jug over there. I may have to move it because it might be a little too close to the forge, so we'll figure out a good place to put it. The other new piece of kit in the shop, and this is the one that I'm super, super excited about. 3 weeks ago, I don't know if you guys remember, but I was telling you that a friend of mine had a front-loading kiln that he's trying to get rid of. And I have it now. It's in the shop. It's right over there. So we're going to show it to you. Let's see if you guys can take a look at it. So let's see. I'm going to turn you a little bit. And then we're going to go down. And you guys can kind of see that green box in the center of the floor over there. That guy right there is a giant kiln. And I'm going to be able to do some tempering and that sort of thing with it. And I am really excited about that. So we, tempering and annealing, maybe a little bit of casting or like burnout stuff. We will see what we can get up to with that guy. The first thing I am concerned with, and the first thing that I have to actually get or deal with it, is that I need to make sure that it still works. My friend, he got it from a school and they were just upgrading it, but they said it worked, but he never was able to get it plugged in and test it. So I've got an adapter that I bought off of Amazon that should be here by Thursday. So we're going to plug it in this weekend and see if we can't fire it up. I'll keep you guys posted on that one. Yes, heat treating time. Welcome in, Boston. Hello. So I am super excited about the kiln, and that's going to open up a lot of opportunities for us here in the, Ray's Smithy. And I'm really excited to start using it and see what we can do. So like I said, first things first, I gotta see if I can't get it plugged into my 220 outlet and fire it up to see if it works. Right now, it's just full of spiders. So, I gotta do a little bit of cleaning and a little bit of figuring things out, and we'll see what we can do. So, for now, we are going to continue working on our hammer eye drift, this guy. So the first things that we got to do is we have to start up the forge. We're going to continue using the mailbox because it generates a lot more heat in a much smaller space, and it's going to make working this material a lot easier. It is also going to generate a lot less ambient heat, so maybe I won't sweat as much. I keep having to take these really long cold showers after we stream because it's just so hot in here. So hopefully, you know, I won't have to do that as maybe the shower won't have to be as cold. So yeah. I am so happy I turned in now. Yes, the drift. So I'm really excited about this guy. Okay, so we're gonna start this forge, and I do have a couple shots that I need to get for some YouTube videos that I am going to create with this series of, you know, the hammer eye drift and the hammer eye punch. So I'm going to move that camera, the close-up camera, over to the forge so that you guys can kind of maybe, or so I can get a recording of me or turning on the forge, and then also I want to get a shot of me putting the steel in the forge and taking it out. So we're going to take a look at that first. And so I'm going to do my first heat is going to be straightening this guy out a little bit on the anvil, so we'll just stay on the wide. I think. We'll see. We'll see how this works. Let's see here. If I can make this work right. All right. If I move this forward, you guys can probably see me working on this, but we're going to do what we can. All right. Is it in this shot? It is in the shot. You can see it in the shot? I'm sorry. All right, let's start this guy. So if I do something like, maybe I'll do that. That way you can kind of see what the camera that you see is seeing. All right, let's see here. I think I just need to crack this guy. That one is not quite as exciting looking as the big guy. The big guy has a tendency to do mini explosions, and that's a lot more exciting to see, I feel like. But I think it's okay. All right. I didn't grab my tools today. I am a bad person sometimes. A little less organized today, I think. All right, so we're going to put this in the forge. There we go. All righty. So now that's heating up. We might need to change or to turn that up just a little bit. Nah, I think it's all right. We'll deal with that a little bit later. So yeah, I'm really excited today. You know, everything seems to be coming up my way. I mean, like I said, I'm a little less organized today than normal, but other than that, you know, everything's been pretty good today. And you know, this last weekend, except for Friday, you know, with that early end. Let's see, what else is going on? So I've completed, I think I've already told you guys that I've completed the video for Wednesday, which is the soapstone holder video. That's going to be the overview video that I made. So this is the soapstone holder that we made. We started this on stream. I finished it off stream. So I wanted to make sure that I videoed everything so you guys could actually see the whole piece. So that will be up on Wednesday for you guys to take a look at, you know. And so right now I am still in the process of editing next Wednesday's video, which is going to be on the coal forge, you know, when we fabricated that guy. So I have a couple shots that I need to get for next, or I need to do those tomorrow, and so that I can get some shots of like all of the black iron pipe and stuff that I added to it off stream, and Once I get that all taken care of, I'll put it to some music and we'll upload it for next Wednesday's video. So look forward to that. I am doing another video that I'm fingers crossed I'm going to be shooting tomorrow, along with the supplemental shots that I need for the coal forge, and that is going to be cleaning up and dressing that hammer eye punch that we bought at the Indiana Blacksmith Association. I wish I would have been able to, show you guys, or film myself buying that. But unfortunately, the vendor I purchased it from did not want to be on camera, and you just can't when someone says no, no means no. So yeah, looks like we're getting a little bit of heat, but we might need to take a little bit more time and allow that green fire to start coming out of the back end of the forge. Welcome in, Yankee. How is my stream working? Today my stream is working all right for the moment, knock on wood. I can't say that it's going to stay that way. I've had a little bit of internet fluctuation earlier this morning, and I think the last blip I had was at around 10:30 my time, which is 11:30 Eastern. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, whatever the interference is done for now, at least until we're done streaming. So fingers crossed, we are going to get that taken care of, and we'll have a smooth stream. Nah, it will be great. I hope so. I hope it'll be great. I'm sick of fighting the internet. Like I said, I did actually get a hold of my ISP one more time, and they said that we are borderline what they consider acceptable. So we're just under the line before they would actually send someone out. And we do have these weird spikes. And so, when I have internet, it's absolutely fantastic. It's great. It's fast. It's beautiful. It works. But when it doesn't work, it just spikes and then it's just gone like that. And, I have no prediction of when that's coming, and I have no prediction for how long that's going to happen. It's been, a couple seconds all the way up to an hour. And unfortunately, like I said, I can't predict it. Welcome in. Welcome to the stream. Yankee has rated us. Thank you so much for that raid. I can definitely use some raiders, some fun and some happy excitingness. All right. And it looks like my bot already gave Yankee a shout out. But I do really like to, shout out people manually, So we're going to try and do that. Because, it's that personal touch. Okay, it's not going to let me give him a manual shout out. It's got an hour cooldown on the shout out, unfortunately. So I apologize. I tried. But welcome in. Oh, it was you, Ping. It was. Thank you so much, Ping. Will you eventually use the hammer eye punch to make a hammer eye punches with the hammer handles? I will, actually. So right now we are in the process of making tools to make tools. So right now we are making a hammer eye drift. I have a hammer eye punch that I'm going to be doing a video for YouTube of me dressing it. And so here is that. It's right here. So this is the hammer eye punch. I purchased this in Indiana at the Indiana Blacksmith Association conference. And it's got a lovely dusting of rust all over the surface of this. It also has some mushrooming back here. We're going to take care of all of this, and we're going to oil up this handle. It's a little on the dry side, so we want to make sure, we want to take care of our tools, put them back in service. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this guy to punch a eye into a new hammer that I have planned for us to make. We're probably going to use this piece of steel right here. This is a lovely hammer blank. It is 4140 that I purchased a while back because I really wanted to make a tool or like a hammer out of it. So this is, you know, we're making the tools so that we can make our next hammer. So I'm really excited for this series. And we are also in the works, we're going to be making an axe drift and probably an axe eye punch. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to do the punch because we might be doing a wrapped style axe, but we will also be making an axe in this same series. So this is going to be all throughout the summer. And I'm hoping that Yankee might be able to help me out with this axe head, you know, putting a handle on it. Maybe not. He's been doing a lot of gardening lately, so we'll see. We'll see. Summer of tools. Yes, this is going to be the summer of tools, or at least this is the plan, summer of tools. And then we're going to do a fall of, you know, another type of project, maybe, you know, something else. We might be making some more tongs, some, you know, other types of tools. I'm not sure yet. Maybe we'll dip into a few things that I hate doing and do like some sharps or something. I don't know. It depends. I do want to play with my new tempering oven, so we'll see. We'll see. Right. But yes, I am so excited about this summer. All right. Oh. So like I said, I do have one more shot that I need to get with this camera right here, and that is going to be the shot of me pulling the steel out. And I am going to actually use the heat that I've gained from this shot. We're going to keep on the wide shot, and I'm just going to do a little bit of straightening out, I think, maybe, depending on where the heat is. All right. That's some good heat. Whoa. Goodness gracious. Got to be way careful right now. All right. Look down this piece, both directions. We've got a little bit of a bend over here that I need to address eventually, but we're not going to worry about that right this second. So I'm going to put this back in the forge, and we're going to heat up this this area right here because we're going to continue drawing down that taper on this drift. All right. And with that, I'm going to move the camera over there so that I can start using the press. This is a very thick piece of steel. It's very hard to move. So the press is going to give us 20 tons of pressure and help us along. I expect gardening into fall. Gardening is enough. Yeah, gardening is great. And Yankee's been doing a lot of gardening, and, you know, that's really interesting as well in its own right, you know? Horticulture. I wish I was better at that, you know? All right, let's see. I am currently getting the press in shot so you guys can kind of see what's going on with that. I might need to move it over this way, so. See, I think I still have you on, or like a little inset, so you guys can kind of watch me address this and see if I can't, like, you know, or put it in focus and stuff. Oh, shoot. There we go. Nice. That's in focus. I'm learning how to use these cameras so much better now. I'm starting to actually do the manual focus thing, which is really impressive for me. I'm not very good with cameras, but I try. Let's see. What else have we got going? Like I said, we're going to continue to wait on that piece to heat up. And yeah. So I don't think I need the inset anymore because there's nothing really going on at the press right now, but I will pop that up when we're ready to do the heat and start working with the press. Okay, we've got some nice green flames going on here, so we are going to have it, or start working. So yes, we're gonna start working. There's that. I'm gonna inset us probably up here, and yeah. I hope you guys can see this pretty well. We're going to have to go back to the anvil at some point because we have reached a point where our piece of steel is too wide for the jaws of this press. Back into the heat. All right. Did I record that? I did. Haha. Sometimes I actually think about think things all the way through. So yeah, I'm really excited about this summer. It's gonna be great. Some of the streams might be a little bit on the short side, and my hope is that it's not because of the internet. My hope is that, well, I guess my hope isn't that they're short, but we do get really, really warm here in the Midwest of the United States. So some of the shorter streams may occur when it starts to get really, really hot. I try very hard to maintain, a hydrated state where I am not, where I'm not, having to. Let me rephrase that. I try very hard to be safe here on the stream. And there are times where it gets so hot that I just cannot stay hydrated, even with I'm while I'm drinking lots and lots of water. So if that occurs, we'll probably do shorter streams for a while, and I may try and do more frequent streams if they're too short, but we'll see how that goes. I think we're gonna play it by ear this summer. Shower in the workshop. Next time we forge wet. Yes. Amazing how the press cools down the metal so rapidly. Yeah, so part of the reason why the press is cooling down the metal that fast is because it's not really even the whole amount of the metal that is being cooled. It's like the outside of the material. The inner core is still relatively hot. But anytime a piece of metal, like a hot piece of metal, comes in contact with the cold steel of either the press dies or the anvil itself, that actually cools down the metal. So while we're using the hammer, it will also suck heat out of our metal, But the reason that the hammer doesn't do it as much is because it is not touching it for as long of a period of time. Because I'm, doing that very quick hammer blow, and so it's just not touching the material as much. It's not sucking that heat. So with the press, that continuous, the continuous pressing, it's the time that it's touching that steel is much longer. So all of that heat is being sucked up into those dies. But yeah, I don't know. We have been considering, doing a travel van and streaming out of the travel van, and we do want to put a shower in the, an outdoor shower in the travel van. So, I mean, maybe that's an option, shower while streaming. We wet t-shirt contest this. I do try not to wear white t-shirts for that reason, because I do sweat a lot here in the shop. So I try to be a little bit more wholesome. So, we play things as they come. All right. What else is going on today? I don't know. Oh, we've got plenty of heat now. So since I can't come up with anything nice to talk about right now, let's shut up and do some forging for a second. And then I'll have enough time to maybe come up with something else to talk about. All right. I am going to turn on the record function on the wide camera, just because, it's always nice to get a few wide shots here and there. So here I am focusing on the high spot to kind of even out the entire piece. Because overall we want a very smooth transition while we are punching and drifting that hammer high for that handle. Eventually we want hourglass shaped hole. So the top and bottom of the hammer eye are a little bit on the wider side in that center area. That will allow the handle to kind of lock in the hole. Once we start expanding it with the wedge, I'm going to do a little bit of straightening up. And then we're going to come back over to the anvil and do a little bit of dressing the sides of this. We've got a little bit of a bend happening, and I want to correct that. I also want to take those French fry edges out of there. All right, I already did that one. Welcome in, Kiri. Wow, lots and lots of raids today. So many raiders. Ping, did you already shout out and I missed it? Or do I need to do a manual shout out as well? We are in ad time, so unfortunately, that's like the first thing that's happening for you guys. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited that you're here, and my FPS is being stupid. Yes, adding more fire to that hot weather. Hopefully it is still, my stream is still stable. I am getting a little bit of I should do a manual shout out. I will do a manual shout out. Let's see. Flash shout out. And it's being a little bit on the laggy side. So I apologize for that. Goodness gracious. FPS stands for frames per second. Yes, it does, Sandwich. Yes, it does. Of course, of course. All right, if I could get the shout out, that would be amazing, but it's not going to let me. Maybe just one frame, yeah. All right, so I'm going to do the shout out on my phone because OBS is being really, really dumb. Oh, don't worry about it. I like to do it manually. So yeah, today we are making a hammer eye drift, and the hammer or a hammer. Bleh. So every hammer, has to have a handle, right? So I want to make a hammer, and I need a tool that's going to punch the hole in here, and so I need to make the tool. So we're doing tools to make tools today, and we're doing a hammer eye drift. So that is what is in the forge right now. And we're going to do a little bit of anvil work to kind of straighten it out, flatten it out a little bit. Hopefully the FPS is doing a little bit better than it was. Yes, it is tool making time. So right now I am working with a piece of Atlantic 33, which is a proprietary steel alloy that was developed by the U.S. Navy for use on submarines. And this tool steel is a low carbon tool steel. Usually a tool is made with, or the steel in a tool is very high in carbon. And that is normally what creates the hardness for a tool. But this particular piece of steel, it is specifically designed to have low carbon so that they didn't have to worry about burning the carbon out of the tool in the forge while they're working with it. And it can be worked over and over and over and reshaped and shaped into whatever they needed. So there is a whole bunch of barium in this steel. And barium also makes steel very hard. So it's a little bit harder to work, but it's going to make a good drift. And we are going to make this now so that we can make a hammer later. All right. Let's see. So I'm going to take this guy right here, this camera, and we are going to take it to the anvil because we're going to do a little bit of anvil work right now. We're manual focusing right now because I'm trying really hard to up the quality of the stream, and this camera, the anvil camera, has a tendency when it's on when it's on autofocus, it has a tendency to lose focus. So I'm trying really hard to get ahead of that. Okay. One more thing. We are going to clean the scale off of this guy. I'm gonna lurk, so does come post stream care? Have fun. Yes, do that post care stream or post stream care. Thank you so much for your raid, Curie, and welcome all of Curie's community. I hope I do great. All right, so I forgot to change my cameras. Here we go. I think I'm gonna put the inset up here this time. Maybe not. That's a little bit awkward. Let's put it right there. All right. So as you can kind of see, this whole thing is really wide this way. It's very, I guess, homogeneously wide. So we need to thin the tip out a little bit further. Because we want a nice smooth transition. So the whole purpose of this particular tool is that it is opening up the hole so that the handle will fit through there. So I want to be able to, shove that through and have a nice amount of support inside here so I can start working on the cheeks of my hammers. So I need to move a little bit of this material right here. There's a really large transition here. It's really abrupt. And like I said, I really need to smooth that out. So that's what we're going to do or focus on next heat. Back in the fire. So if any of you guys have any questions about what we're doing, about blacksmithing, about metal, the forge, anything like that, let me know. I am always happy to answer questions. That's my favorite part of streaming, really, is interacting with all of you and answering your questions. If I didn't love streaming and answering questions and talking to you guys, I wouldn't stream. So I can do all this without streaming. It's a lot easier. Scenes from our next heat. Yes, scenes from our next heat. I try to kind of give you guys an overview as to, what is happening. And as I am doing the heat, what is going to happen next, and, the whole project and the goal of the whole project. Mostly because, new people show up all the time, and I want to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing. It also helps me when I'm editing things later, because then I have myself talking and explaining the project multiple times. And, sometimes I have lots and lots of ums, and sometimes I don't. So, it makes editing a lot easier. Man, I'm going through water really fast today. So I'm really excited that I have my new water jug. Hopefully it's not too warm. Seems all right. Ooh, that's an interesting thing. Let's see if I can't turn that guy up. So what's happening, what I noticed there is I have a regulator attached to my propane tank, which is what is feeding the fire on this little forge. And it's telling me that it's reading really, really low. The pressure, so it's like a pressure gauge. And so what that's telling me is that the propane tank itself is very empty. So there will probably be a tank change in the stream at some point in the nearish future. This is an incredibly efficient forge, and so hopefully, it lasts for quite a while, but you never know. It's been a while since I've run this guy on a near empty tank. All right. We're going to do one more heat here at the anvil. And then I'm going to move the close-up camera. We're going to go back to the press, and we'll keep on keeping on. So let's do this. Whoops, I did the wrong one. There we go. Much more better. All right, so those edges are getting a lot more smooth. I'm really happy with that. All right. My main concern now is the transition between this big bulge there and this like skinnier section. So I want to make sure that we're, you know, getting a happy transition in a happy tool. So I wish I had a flatter, but I do not. A flatter is a tool that you stick on top of your material. It's got an incredibly flat face on it, and then you hammer on top of it, and that transfers that flat face onto your steel, and it flattens it out. All right, we're gonna stick this really far in there because we want to heat up that transition area. We may end up having to do one more heat because I think I remember telling you guys already that the area that that transition is in is a little bit too wide for the press. So I will do one more heat at the anvil. I apologize for, you know, telling you one thing and doing another.